So these are the buildings in my community. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of buildings. So there's about 3,000 odd people living here. This is the car park at the back of the community. And the reason we're in the car park today is because we took Nancy's new motorbike for a ride. Hey, so this is Nancy's new motorbike, which I've put lots of stickers on and made it look a bit fancier than how you buy them. So, but we ran out of fuel. So I made Nancy a little number plate. So this is Beijing N.ANXI, but of course Nancy. So Beijing Nancy. Anyway, so hey. So this little bike, I put some training wheels on it, which were pretty simple, just an axle underneath, which I've welded a bar to, and then I've just bolted that into the foot pegs. So just so when she rides it, it can stand up by itself, obviously. And these have just got bolts with Loctite holding the wheels on. So pretty simple axle. And then I just bent it to suit so it could go underneath the fairing. Righto. Now this is the junk pile of all the bikes. So I've been stealing a few parts because I took a little scooter out of here the other day, which I'm going to muck around with. But the kids just love coming here and playing with all the old broken bikes. Now, it's not something Chinese kids would do, or not something Chinese parents would let their kids do. The Chinese parents don't let their kids do anything what I call fun. They're not allowed to jump in puddles, they don't allow to play with rocks there. The parents are always carrying them everywhere, and they'll only take them to like shopping centre where there's all these toys you can like pay 10 yuan or whatever to play in, and it's got all the music playing and balls and, you know, just very commercial toys. And they often look at me and my wife and think we're quite reckless or silly because we allow the kids to like play here. Like Andy's there in amongst the bikes and Nancy's picking up bits of metal. But to me, that's, I don't know, that's what I did when I was a kid. I used to go to junkyards and we'd climb through all the broken cars and everything, and that was just so much fun. It was such an adventure, and to this day I remember how much I enjoyed it. And with me standing here monitoring them, Andy's stuck. Hey, just a minute. Yes, this happens. Let's have a look. There you go. So, but to this day, I remember climbing through all the broken cars at the junkyards and everything, and it was such a memory, and it's such a good memory. And with them doing it here, you know, they love it. Nancy every day asks if she can go to the broken bikes, and I'm standing here watching them. It's something my parents didn't do, but I'm actually here watching them. And so if they do get stuck like Andy just did, you know, he can get helped and stuff like that. So I don't think it's that dangerous, but yeah, it's just something that Chinese people never do. Chinese kids never do. They're not allowed to come near this because they might get a cut or a scratch or a bruise or whatever. And I think to myself, it's actually probably safer here in China than it is like in Australia, because I know in Australia we have so many dangerous spiders, and in Australia we have so many dangerous snakes. But when I was a kid, we were always playing in the bush. We were always, you know, playing in amongst junk, like broken cars, or, you know, at some old building or whatever, where there probably was snakes and spiders. But, you know, so it's more dangerous in Australia than it is here. It's probably a lot safer here. But that's what we're doing today. So, bringing up kids in China. Everyone frowns at me, and everyone shakes their head when they see, like, Andy was riding the little motorbike here before, and all the people shake their head. They think it's, you know, they think he's really good, but they would never let their kids do it. It's just kind of shocking that I would allow them to do it. So but it's fun. And this is actually, once we came here, I came here the other day and I pulled out a little 50cc moped, and I've taken it back to my storeroom and I'm pulling it apart and I'm playing with it, trying to get it going. But ever since I came over and started salvaging parts, because once I got that, I took parts off some of the other mopeds. I just coils and stuff like that. And then once I did that, a lot more Chinese now have come over to this pile of junk, and they're all now starting to salvage parts from them bikes as well, which wasn't happening before. All these bikes were just kind of dumped here and no one was touching them. They're going to be scrapped. But yeah, they seen me starting to strip parts off them, and then suddenly like, oh well, if the foreigner can strip some parts, well maybe we can. So now a lot of the Chinese are coming over and taking things like baskets off the front, the stands and stuff like that. And my father-in-law, actually, he even came here the other day, which quite surprised me, and he actually took a whole bike and then he's taken it back to a bike repair place, and he got a new tyre fitted, and I think he maybe put a new chain on it, and now he's actually riding that bike. And he said to me the other day, he goes, oh, you know, check out the bike I got. And I said, oh, you know, cool, you know. And he says, it rides, Nancy, don't put rocks on the motorbike. Hey, don't put rocks, you'll scratch it, okay? So he actually reckons that the bike he got out of this junk pile is actually better than his good bike he bought, you know, brand new, only maybe 6 months ago. He reckons it rides better. So I think it's quite cool that he's actually seen the idea of recycling, because Chinese people most of the time, and as you can see with all these bikes, if anything goes wrong with something, if they can't easily go and fix it, like if it's a flat tyre, yes, they'll probably go and put a new tube in it or something like that. But a lot of the other things, if something breaks and they're not really sure what's wrong with it, they'll just go and buy a new one. Simple as that. Money doesn't matter. So they'll just dump it and they'll just go and buy a new one. And that goes with lots of things. If it's broken, throw it away, buy a new one. The older generation are a little bit more thrifty, but with them too, a lot of them, what they'll do, if something breaks, they'll put it in their storeroom downstairs, and then they'll buy a new one, but they will not throw the old one out. They'll always keep it. And my wife's parents are like that. In their storeroom underneath their apartment building, they have so much junk and things which like are broken. And I've even had some things like our rice cooker. It burnt out the heat overload switch thing in it, and I had a look at it and I said to my wife, I said, look, I said, it's overheated and that's why it's burnt out this little like heat protection device on it. And I said, it's got a crack in the side which water can leak into the side of it. I said, it's actually dangerous. And I said, they're quite cheap. We've had this one for years. So I said, let's just throw it away and we'll buy a new one. But when Reiling told her mother about that, her mother straight away, oh, no, don't throw it away. I'll have your old one. And I said to Reiling, I said, it's rubbish and it's dangerous. But no, her mum insisted, so she kept it, put it in her storeroom downstairs, and she's keeping it. I do not know why. And they had the same with a kettle. They had a kettle which broke, and then I actually just bought them a brand new kettle. This was like a year ago. I bought them a brand new kettle and said, look, your old kettle's broken and it's dangerous and it's crappy anyway. It's full of calcium build up and, you know, cracks in the plastic. So I bought her a brand new one. But sure enough, I went there, you know, like 2 weeks later, and the old one was still on the bench, and Reiling goes, the new one they left in the box and they put it in the storeroom downstairs. Go figure. So this is China. Okay, so that's the little 50cc motorbike, which cost me a whole 80 Australian dollars for a 50cc two-stroke motorbike. I'm making a video, which I haven't put together yet, but I'm making a video about unboxing and so forth, and so you'll see what it was like when I first got it. But the kids are off playing with rocks, so seeing we're out of fuel, I think I'll wheel this thing back home and put it in the storeroom, and yeah, have a snack, have a coffee, and that will be it.